really pertinent to the story, I would have no problem telling it to you. Not pertinent to the story. So anyways, another aspect of black magic, and this applies to a bunch of us here, shaming our children and others in our lives is black magic. How could you do that? How could you be so stupid? I remember my parents saying things like that, if not those exact words, something like it. I've seen other parents embarrassing or shaming their kids in public, and you know, it affects people the rest of their lives. It affects our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandchildren, the rest of their lives. Don't do it. Please don't do that. It's so simple, and to be more constructive and to be powerful with the magic of your language. People make mistakes. People aren't perfect. Judging them and making them wrong is shaming them. Just relax, 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 and support them lovingly to be more powerful next time, as opposed to making them wrong for what they did. It's because we internalize that shame, and it keeps us from being productive, successful, and most importantly, it keeps us from being happy. Ruiz calls that black magic. Young people who are shamed by their parents or family or by bullies are affected and often become people who shame themselves and shame others or are bullies to others. Compare this. Don't be so stupid. Study harder, damn it. Your brother got good grades. Why don't you? Compare that to, oh well, we all make mistakes. What can you do the next time to get that good grade you want to have? Let's talk about it. How can I support you? What can you do to get on the honor roll next time? You came so close. Yeah, what can we do to get that D up to a C or to a B? What can we do? How can I support you with that? I know you're capable of doing it because you're smart. As opposed to, how are you so stupid? Why did you do that? What's wrong with you? And I'm not making up language. I've heard this stuff. I've heard this stuff from other parents. I've heard some of this stuff aimed at me by my father, who really meant well. He really meant well. He was so intent on me getting good grades so I'd have a successful life, unlike his life, where he went to school and he failed out numerous times. He failed out from at least 3 different universities and several different high schools. He was smart, but he sabotaged himself. He had a pretty dysfunctional family that he grew up in. And I remember studying math. My dad got math really easily. And there I am studying math, and whenever I get the answer wrong, he'd hit me in the back of the head. Talk about shaming, huh? That's like physical abuse. He'd hit me in the back of the head like this. Not really hard, but just enough that you felt ashamed. Black magic. You know how well I did in algebra? Not well at all. I couldn't even make sense of it because I was afraid of getting hit. And I remember being 35 years old and working in my law office, and my dad was keeping my books. We'll figure that one. He's doing my books. And whenever he'd walk up behind me, guess what I would do? I'd flinch. I'm a grown man now. My dad's in his 50s or 60s. He walks up behind me and I flinch. I finally had to fire him. And I told him why. I said, I can't even hear. I can't hear because of things that happened back then. Black magic. It's about black magic when we shame our kids. Another one I did this one. I did this one, and my first wife and I did this one. We loved our kids, and we did this. And I've heard other parents do it as well. It says, I love my 3 kids. Billy's my student. Brianna's my little athlete. Georgie's neither a student nor an athlete, but I love him anyway. You lock your kids in that way. Georgie has little chance. Brianna is going to be the athlete, not the student, and Billy's the student. Billy now has all the pressure to get all A's. Brianna thinks she's stupid, and where's Georgie go? Don't lock your kids in. Don't lock your grandkids in. Don't lock your cousins in. Don't lock people at work in with you casting. Ruiz calls these potions. Casting a spell. Casting a spell, a toxic potion on them by saying who they are. by saying who your kids are. I was very careful with Tamsin to always let her be the one to say what she wanted to be. And you know what? She has great grades across the board. And we let her decide that she wants to do singing. And I didn't say you have to be a singer just because your grandmother was a singer and I've done some singing or acting. She decided herself what she wanted to do. And I was very careful about that because I had pigeonholed my other 3 kids. And I discovered that that's black magic. And happens so often. Listen to yourself. Look for yourself as to how you may be treating your children or your family. Here's another use of black magic. Can you guess who I am? By Morgan Blake. Morgan Blake wrote this poem. I am more deadly than the screaming shells from the howitzer. I win without killing. I tear down homes, break hearts, and wreck lives. I travel on the wings of the wind. No innocence is strong enough to intimidate me, no purity pure enough to daunt me. I have no regard for truth, no respect for justice, no mercy for the defenseless. My victims are as numerous as the sands of the sea, and often as innocent. I never forget and seldom forgive. My name is gossip. Humorist Dave Barry isn't joking when he says the most destructive force in the universe is gossip. One of the deadliest practices in a spiritual community is parking lot conversations. A parking lot conversation. You're in a church meeting, people are in a church meeting, and things are decided. You go outside, we stand around outside by our cars, and we talk about, I can't believe they did that. Why are they setting money aside for a new parking lot? This parking lot is just great. Then you have a parking lot conversation about how stupid they were in there. I can't believe the board said that. I can't believe they're even thinking that way. Parking lot conversations. You go to a restaurant afterward and you talk about the people who aren't there in a negative way. Not in a positive, constructive, affirming way, but you talk about them negatively. That's gossip. That is like the death knell for a spiritual community. And I dare say it happens in every church, every spiritual center, nothing particular, and I don't even know about it here, but we're just the right number now that if we get a sense of how important it is for us to take a stance against gossip and against parking lot conversations, when people start to flood in here and come in, we have a large group together, we will be the kernel of power and truth that doesn't allow that thing to happen. We'll say certain things like, someone said we should never put money aside for that new parking lot. This one's just fine. We want to try to wrap up those conversations with a positive note. Well, let's turn it over to God and see how it works out. Well, the board is doing the best they can. Let's give them the space and the time to see how things work out. Let's say a prayer for them and pray that things turn out in the best way for everyone concerned. Or I suggest, you're pretty passionate about your complaint, I suggest that you take that complaint to someone who can do something about it. No one in our little group here in the parking lot can do anything about that. I'll take you to see the board president, the board chair, and we can talk to the board chair about your concern. I'll support you in doing that. And that's vital that we have those quick conversations with positive endings, offering constructive ways of avoiding negative backbiting and tearing down a church or your workplace. This isn't just about churches. This happens. Does anybody ever hear gossip at work that tears down the bosses? Same thing. You got a problem with your boss? Let's go talk to the boss. Or let go of it. Say a prayer for them and let go of it. Don't stand around and gripe. And here's another reason to do that. Not just because your spiritual community or your workplace gets hurt, but law of attraction. What are you attracting into your life for the rest of the day if you're thinking negatively about the past with passion? If you're blaming other people for how bad things are going to be, and then you go home and you want to create good things in your life, what happens then? Where's law of attraction taking you? Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Thank you to, I don't think Charles Fillmore said that. That was, you know who that was? That was Martha Judici. Martha Judici. Many people think that was Charles Fillmore. It wasn't. It was Martha Judici. She was teaching at the village when I was there. All right, many blessings to you. Good things come. Only white magic, only powerful things, only powerful language for you and me. Thank you, God. Amen.